Around the country, so much has happened since the last time we saw you in Pats. I mean, the country has just been turned on its side. We could talk for hours about everything that's gone on in between, but all of them pale in comparison to the fact that you're now a new father. What's it like being a dad?
It's a blessing. It's been a lot of fun just being there, getting to see my son grow every day, new things he's doing, whether it be flipping over, starting to tease. So just being able to be there. Usually I'd have to go back up to Green Bay. Right after he was born, I would have had to go up to Green Bay. So to kind of take it as a blessing in disguise.
You're spending the first couple months of your baby's life in your hometown here in El Paso. I'm sure it's got to make your parents happy. I mean, it's got to be pretty cool for you, too, seeing your child here in El Paso.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this is home, so he's going to know El Paso for sure. And he's going to be here for a while. And my parents love having him around. They're so helpful. When I need to go to the gym, they take him, they watch him for me. So it's good to be home and have him home and have my parents as well.
And every offseason you come back here. I mean, this is home for you, El Paso, and you rep it on the big stage in the NFL. You rep it on social media. You rep it everywhere. A pregame walkthrough with the sombrero there.
Yes, sir.
Is this the place that you're most comfortable, El Paso?
Yes, sir. El Paso's home for me, and it's always going to be home. The people here have supported me ever since I was young, playing middle school, high school, football, basketball, whatever sport it may be. They've always supported me and my brother and my family, and they've continued to support me all the way through, and I think that's just a way I can show a sign of love and respect for the city.
And now you're playing football up in northern Wisconsin, which I don't know if you could find two more places that are more different than El Paso.
That's what I tell people. I say I get the hottest and I get the coldest, and it's very completely different, but you get the best of both worlds, so it's pretty cool.
I mean, even guys in your locker room that come and pass by, fans up there in Green Bay, how do you describe El Paso to somebody from Wisconsin?
I just tell them they have to come out here. Once you come out here, you're going to fall in love. The people here are very friendly, very welcoming. We've got great food, great weather year round, and we've actually had some guys come out for our camp, former teammates or current teammates, and they all end up loving El Paso. They want to come back, and so I just tell people they have to experience it for themselves.
And when those guys come back down, because I remember last summer for the Aaron Jones football camp, you had some guys come on in. What were their impressions of it?
A couple of guys were tweeting like, "This is a mini Vegas. Like, I love it here. I can't wait to come back
mini
to El
Vegas?
Paso." Yeah.
El Paso?
So yeah, it's a lot different like from a lot of other places that you get to see. They love the mountains. It has a lot of things to do here now. They've definitely built up the city. So I mean, I love it here.
You give it a bigger platform than most anybody else, and everybody loves seeing that. But switching gears now a little bit, on the topic of your son, you had a very emotional and open letter in the Players Tribune about a month ago. What was the inspiration behind putting that up there?
Just kind of wanted to thank my dad for raising me the way he did, and just show in today what reality is really like, and how it's not necessarily fair being a minority, but how we can change things and use our platform to change them.
Have you had conversations like that among your teammates in Green Bay and Zoom meetings, anything like that? How have those gone?
Definitely. I mean, we've been talking about it since 2017 when everybody thought that Cap was taken and needed to disrespect the flag, and we all knew at the time it wasn't anything to disrespect the flag. It was more he was for police brutality, and so we all come from different races in the locker room, and for the national anthem, we locked arms in solidarity because we already knew what it was about. We knew it wasn't about disrespecting the flag or any of that. So, well, we do have those conversations. There's real conversations because everybody comes from different backgrounds and are raised different. So, you just got to give them kind of a perspective and see what it is, see what it's like to grow up the way you did.
And having a locker room of guys from all different walks of life, all different parts of the country. As far as the team's response, the Packers' response, and then even the league's response to all that, have you been pretty happy with how they've responded to it? Do you think they could be doing more? I mean,
I've been happy. I'm glad, like, Goodell apologized, and they're taking the right steps, and they see what's going on, and they're allowing us to use our platforms, and they have our backs when we're using the platform as well, using our platforms as well. So I definitely appreciate them for that.
Have you guys had conversations about taking a knee during the anthem? We saw it at the Locomotive here at Southwest University Park last weekend during the anthem. Have you guys had any conversations about that?
We haven't. We just trying to figure out when we're gonna get back to playing football first. So we haven't had any of those conversations yet.
Usually right now, the season would be starting preseason here in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming it's mostly still virtual, but is there a sense of urgency or anything like that?
I think there is a sense of urgency. Guys want to play, but they also don't want to risk the health of their family or anybody else. So they just want to make sure it's a safe environment to go out and play in and make sure they have everything figured out before we step on the field.
In your case, would you be comfortable playing a football game, say, this weekend?
I'm always ready to play. I'm always ready to compete. So I would say yes.
Your teammates, do you think they feel the same way? Do you think the majority of the league would all be for starting the season on time, per se?
I feel like if it's safe and healthy and not putting our families at risk, I think everybody would be definitely down for it, because if it wasn't a pandemic, everybody would be ready to play football. So.
And as far as staying ready, I mean, what sort of things have you been doing here in El Paso to stay geared up for, game shape?
Just continue to work out on the jugs machine at home, my dad and brother, and running, just doing everything I can, working with Steven a little bit, and just continue to work, continue to grow. And he's a quarterback, so I'm trying to develop my game more and more and work a little bit at receiver. So if I have a question, I could go to him. Hey, bro, like, what do you think about this, or what should I do on this route? How is it supposed to be ran? Because he's a quarterback and he knows. So
you're talking about Steven Montez, who just got picked up by the Washington Redskins, or Washington.
Yes, sir.
Fill in the blank there, I guess, if you will. But how cool is that, having a guy who's from El Paso and then leaning on him for expertise, him doing the same thing for you? I mean, you guys are doing this, at high school football stadiums in the area?
Yes, sir. We've been at El Paso High recently, and it's honestly pretty cool to have somebody else from El Paso, me and my brother, but somebody else to make it to that level. And that's all it's always been about. That's one of the reasons I rep El Paso so hard, because I want people to know we have talent here, that a lot of guys here get overlooked. And so I'm glad he took his opportunity when he got to Colorado and ran with it and made the most of it. And now we have another El Pasoan in the league, and it's like a brotherhood. I mean, I've always tell him when I see him, I'm so proud of him and how far he's come, and because it's not easy to get there, and he's done it. And now I have a brother with me in the league, like not other than my twin brother, another brother here from El Paso.
The family's growing, I guess.
Definitely,
yeah.
And because you see it so much, like, oh, guys are from Atlanta or guys are from LA, different parts, and it'll be like 30 guys who they know, who they went to high school or surrounding high schools in the same area, and we don't really have that here. So we're kind of building it now, and it's cool to see.
And it's not just guys who are trying to get to the NFL, maybe in college, but guys in high school, guys earlier on, at earlier stages in their life than that. I mean, you're stopping and taking pictures, shaking hands, but also getting in these kids' ear and giving them someone to talk to from that early age, probably because you've been there and you've done that. I mean, how cool is that, being able to make those connections with these kids, or playing at Parkland, Chapin, Burgess, anything like that?
It's honestly amazing, and I just always leave them with one message: just believe in yourself. If you want to play in the NFL, or if you want to be a doctor, whatever you want to do in life, if you believe in yourself and you keep your goal, and you work hard towards it, and you keep God first, you'll be good, and it'll fall right in line, and you'll be good. So I just continue to tell them to work, and I'm no different from them. I was the same, waking up at 8 a.m. to go to high school workouts, and I was doing the same things as them. And what separates you is how bad you want it. So, and I just tell them that it doesn't just have to be me. You can be the next Aaron Jones, and I don't want you to be the next Aaron Jones. I want you to be better than Aaron Jones, and that's what I let them know.
And the high school football around here too. I mean, we're not, obviously, people that you play against in the NFL coming from Dallas, Los Angeles, areas like that. There's some pretty good football here in El Paso. Is that what do you want the nation to know about the talent pool that's here in the borderland?
To stop sleeping on El Paso. They definitely got a lot of talent here, and I think it's kind of since me and my brother graduated high school, I think the recruiters started coming out here more and more. You see like Tristan Cooper going to Arizona, Steven going to Colorado, guys going different places, getting an opportunity to play at other schools, and getting those big offers like Tavarius Jones, who you got an offer from Bama, Aaron Dumas, he has Arizona State, and so they're getting some attention now, and that makes me excited. It feels like I kind of kind of led the way a little bit, kind of set the path. Like, hey, there's talent here. Make sure you go down there and look. And anytime I get a chance, that's why I bring up El Paso. Like, hey, like, stop sleeping on us. We have talent. You guys just don't want to make the trip out here. I guess they'd rather go to Dallas or Houston, because I guess they have more athletes there. But we have athletes here too who compete at a high level, and we have. I feel like a lot of guys here have chips on their shoulders because we've been overlooked for so long.
Was that part of your decision making as far as where you went to college, where that you stayed home? I mean, you went to UTEP. You didn't go somewhere else. You didn't go Power 5, any place like that. What was the decision making behind you staying home and going to college here, your undergrad years?
Oh, I didn't have any Power 5 offers. I had UTEP, New Mexico State, and UTSA, and my goal was to play with my brother in college, and so UTEP was his only offer, and we wanted to stay home, and we're like, hey, let's change this program around. I wanted to make UTEP into a top 25 team and different things like that. Never achieved that, but we did get to go to a bowl game and had great years at UTEP, and I wouldn't change it for the world. I got to play in front of family and friends who see me play since I was in middle school, so I wouldn't change that for the world.
And you talk about the talent here in the city of El Paso at the prep level, but also coming out of UTEP here these last couple of years. You have you and your brother. There's somebody on the defensive line in the NFC North that you're lining up against who's making a bit of a name for himself. There's Nick Needham down in Miami. There's a lot of young guys coming up through the system. And what does that say about the UTEP program?
And I just think it says a lot. If you come in here and you're focused and you work, your film is your walking, talking resume. You get on the field and you handle your business. It doesn't matter what school you go to. You can make it from anywhere. The scouts, they see talent and they know talent. So all the guys who've come from UTEP and who are in the league right now, they're all doing well and they're succeeding, and I'm so proud of them. And I rep them to the fullest as well. Except for Roy, I'm messing with him.
I actually talked to Roy. About a month ago, and I was talking to him about what's it like lining up against you, and if he's given Khalil Mack or if he's going to give Robert Quinn any tips on lining up against you, your moves. He said he knows a couple tricks you have up your sleeve.
Oh, Roy knows. He's been practicing against me since I was a freshman, so Roy knows some of the things I like to do, and I give credit to Roy because he's worked so hard, and it's kind of a lineup against him. I'm like, man, this dude's getting back here to the quarterback, and he's definitely elevated his game at that level, and he's been grinding. You
played football at UTEP, but a picture surfaced a couple days ago. People don't know that you played a couple basketball games for the Viners back in your day. What did UTEP as a whole, the school, your hometown school, what did it do for you?
It did a lot. It's nothing but I have nothing but love for UTEP. Basketball is actually my favorite sport. So I got a chance to play basketball and football from my hometown school, and it's just a lot of tradition on the basketball court here in El Paso. The 1966 team, Glory Road, all of that. So just putting on a basketball uniform was an honor, and I had a lot of fun doing it. Made some lifelong brothers. Cedric Lang as well. He came to the football field after, and now he's also in the league as well. So it was just pretty cool, and I wouldn't change it for the world, and I just thanked them for the opportunity.
Looking back on your time with the UTEP football team, obviously the record wasn't spectacular, but was there something intrinsically outside of the record that people didn't necessarily see that you want to get out there?
Just how the discipline and how everybody's going to class. Coach Cougs made sure everybody was graduating. He would come into your home and he would tell you, I'm not going to guarantee you any playing time. I'm not going to guarantee you this. He's like, I'm going to guarantee you one thing, and that's that you will leave this school with a degree. And he'll promise your parents that. So I think he made really great men off the field.
And now your connection with the football program today. Top View Fitness here, the gym is like mission control for all the top athletes in the area. You got guys like Deion Hankins. I saw Deion a couple weeks ago. He looks like a middle linebacker.
Oh, yeah, he's gotten a lot bigger.
He's another guy who says, he looks up to you. He's a guy who's trying to, fill in your footsteps. He's seen you do it before. Guys, receivers, Justin Garrett, Kai Loxley last year was another guy. Staying plugged into the UTEP football program, how important is that for you?
It means everything to me, and they're always going to have my support. I'm a UTEP alum, and I played there. So those are like my little brothers, and I'm always going to support them, and just want them to get it through their head as well. Hey, you guys can make it up here too as well. You just focus and you go to class and you handle business, and when it's time to step on the field, you show out. You'll be up here as well, and that's all I want them to know, and just put a smile on their face when I come back and give them a little bit of motivation. Try to come to a couple games here and there.
Where do you think the program's going moving forward? Obviously, because you work out with a lot of the guys currently. You like the direction it's heading in?
Definitely. I see a lot of the guys. They're working really hard. They're grinding with me. So I mean, I see them putting in the work and how bad they want it. So I definitely hope it changes, and I can see it changing. How hard they work. And
last season, obviously leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns. Every single year you've been getting better in the NFL. Your trajectory has just been straight up. You know how many running backs were taken ahead of you, by the way?
18.
Do you kind of have that in your head, the teams that passed on you?
I do, and I kind of remember most of the backs who were drafted before me. So I had fuel to the fire, chip mountain on my shoulder, and I just keep that in the back of my head, and it keeps me going.
Was there a game last season that you kind of realized after the game were like, okay, you know, your phone's starting to get a little more texts and calls, and you're like, people are starting to pay a little bit more attention? It's like, wow.
So funny story, I didn't have my phone. I would say it was a Cowboy game, but I dropped my phone in the hot tub before the game. So after the game, I didn't have a phone, so I wasn't getting.
That probably worked out though for
you. It worked out, and then you know, you have good teammates. So one of my teammates had an extra phone, and he let me use it until I got a new one. And
what this past season took your game to the next level, where, you know, hey, your name is at the top of those statistical categories. Your team as well too, getting to the NFC Championship. What changed in year 3 from year 2?
I would say opportunity. I just became kind of the lead guy and got a chance to just go out there and play freely. Before you were getting thrown in here and there and just having to make the most of every opportunity, which I was. But now you get to get in a rhythm, you get to get in the flow, and you see how the game's going, and you see what they did the last play. You see what they did the last time you ran this exact play. Now you know what to expect.
Inside the 10-yard line, is that you want the football? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, of course. I'm getting in the end zone. That's home for me. That's the casa. So I'm getting there.
Yeah. And these primetime games too. You're talking about Dallas 4 touchdowns. The Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. You go to Kansas City, who ends up winning the Super Bowl, and you torch them. And then you're throwing up the 915 there in front of the cameras. Is there something about these primetime games that you get up for?
Oh, definitely. My name's Showtime. My nickname is Showtime. I love primetime games. When the lights are on, you shine a little bit brighter. And I definitely love the primetime games. I know everybody back home is watching when it's primetime. They get the coverage, so they can see it. A lot of times they don't, because we're in the Wisconsin market, so they get the Dallas games. But when it's primetime, they can tune in and watch. So I try to make it special. Well, I try to make it special every time I touch the ball. But
and it's not just running the football too. I mean, as a receiver, you're very, very accomplished, and you're learning from one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history, in Aaron Rodgers. And he's on the record as saying, you know, post-game press conferences, he was pushing for you to win MVP last season. Why do you think he trusts you?
He just sees how hard I work, and he knows I mean business and how much I want to win. And we all have one common goal, and that's the Lombardi Trophy. And he knows how focused I am and how much I want it just as bad as he wants it. So he sees me in practice, how hard I go in practice and things like that. So it's just about establishing trust, and that's all it's about, is he can trust you on the field. You know what you're doing at all times.
Has there been times in this offseason where you guys are getting together and saying, hey, you know, we were so close, but we can take it one step level further? Is there a sense of renewed motivation for you guys?
Oh, definitely. We all know we were just right there, one game away, and it all left us with an ugly taste in our mouth. And like I said, every team has one common goal at the end of the year, and we made it far, but we didn't make it to where we wanted to be. So we know we got to come back this year and ramp things up and get our trophy.
Obviously replenishing, restocking the offense for you guys, looking to bring some new guys in. I got to ask, the NFL draft, quarterback taken in the first round, A.J. Dillon, a running back taken in the second round. The Packers deciding to take the kid out of Boston College. You're entering a contract year. Was that a little surprising for you?
I mean, no. I mean, my year we drafted 3 backs, so I mean, I know how the draft works. They're bringing in. You might not get the guys you want at the time, or some guys might have fallen off your board, and you take the guy you feel is best available next. And So I guess that's how it worked out for the Packers, and I'm glad to have those guys on the team. And he's just gonna make our running back room more competitive and elevate our game, and that's what we like in our room, competitiveness, because it brings out the best in everybody.
Is there any part of your mind right now that's thinking long term about when that contract is up moving forward?
No, I'm just gonna go on the field and control what I can control. I know if I play well, it's gonna drive the market up even more. So I focus on what I can focus on. And like I said before, I would love to be a lifelong Packer.
You love being in Green Bay.
Definitely, but my focus is gonna be in Green Bay. We got a trophy to win. So all that stuff will come after the money, all of that, the contract. So, it'll come in time. It'll come in due time. But you go out there and perform well, it'll come.
I remember you saying after the game against the Chiefs last year, just watching them celebrate on the field was a bit of a motivation for you.
Definitely. I mean, once we lost to the 49ers, I kind of sat out there and watched
Sorry,
them.
that's my bad. Yeah.
Well, they did win the Super Bowl. I watched their
the
celebration too. I watched their celebration too. But yeah, I sat on the field and just kind of took it in and seeing the smiles on their faces, and no, I didn't want to feel that ever again. And I'm going to do everything in my power to not just me, but my teammates, so none of us feel that anymore.
And you're prepping for an NFL season. You're doing it here in your parents' house with your mom and dad. It's kind of like you were back in high school again.
Definitely, and that's every offseason. I come back here, and it's that. And I mean, they keep me right. They keep me young. I can just go to the gym. I come back home. They've already cooked, and so it's easy being back home. And I just love being back here. The people, the love I get. Just talking to the kids here, the people who tell me they look up to me, and the people who support me. So El Paso means the world to me.
And I'm sure your parents probably like having you back in that.
Yeah.
You get your laundry done a little bit, you get your free meals. What's going
Definitely. It's like being a little kid again, like you said. I do wash my own clothes for the most part. Sometimes they'll come in there and wash them, but no, my parents make my life just a lot easier. It's like you said, I can just be a little kid and not have to worry about everything, not have to worry about the daily struggles that I guess everybody else worries about. What are you going to eat? I come home and it's already cooked, and it's like, thank you.
Yeah, hey man, I'm envious of that. Man, I've got my one-bedroom studio. I might bring by a load over your place.
Hey, definitely.
Like after your playing days are over, could you see yourself coming back to El Paso and establishing?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, El Paso is always going to be home for me, so I can definitely see myself coming back here. And I don't know what I want to do yet once I'm done. I've been thinking of a couple things, but I definitely can see El Paso being home.